That one recently sold on eBay for over $1,000. Welcome to Picking and Punching, and today we're going to bring you the top 10 most expensive Christmas villages, so when you're out and about, you know what to look for. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, I am the Scoundrel Rob Grimes. I'm an independent professional wrestler, also full-time reseller. And every time I go out to yard sales, thrift stores, I come across Christmas villages. And one of the #1 questions I get asked all the time by people, are these worth anything? And to be honest with you, most of the time they're not. Most of the time they're worth $5, $10. But there are some out there that are actually worth hundreds or even thousands. And today, I'm gonna show you what to look out for. All right, so let's jump into this. Before we get to the top 10 list, let's go through a couple of the honorable mention ones. Now, one of the first honorable mentions you want to look out for is called Walter Brockman Christmas Villages. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Walter Brockman opened up a studio in the 60s and 70s in St. Louis. These Christmas villages range usually anywhere from $50 to about $150 a piece for these pieces. So if you guys do see them, you want to look them up or pick them up if you get them for cheap. The Walter Brockman collection looks like just your normal Christmas village. Okay, nothing really special, nothing that really stands out. The biggest thing that you want to look for on these is when you flip them upside down, you look at the bottom of them, there's gonna have a big WB in the bottom, and it usually says St. Louis on them. If you do see those, that is part of the Walter Brockman collection, and they can bring good money, so pick them up. Now, before we jump into our top 10 list, let's go through the last honorable mention, and that is everyone's favorite claymation movie, and that's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was actually produced by Hawthorne Village. If you guys do see these out and about, pick them up. They usually, any range from anywhere to $50 to about $150 on average for these pieces. I would say most of the time between $75 and $100 is what you're gonna look for when you get these. Now, when it comes to these villages, one thing you will look for is most of the time they do come with a COA. That COA does give you the name of the actual piece and says Hawthorne Village on them. Now, some of the most valuable pieces in this collection is the ice skating rink. That usually brings around about $150. And one of the other most valuable pieces in this collection is the Christmas Town Light piece. It usually brings around about $125. Even the little figures such as Rudolph, Santa, and all the other claymation characters usually go for about $50, $60. So if you do see them, pick them up. If you guys like the type of information, we put out all types of videos going to yard sales, thrift, and flea markets. We find items to sell online to resell for a profit. So if you like this type of content, please make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Now, let's jump into the top 10 Christmas villages to look out for. Number 10, the Alpine Christmas Village. Now, the Alpine Christmas Village is actually done by Department 56. You want to look out for these. On average, these bring anywhere from about $100 to $300, somewhere in that ballpark. There are some in the series that can actually bring really good money. The Alpine Ski Lodge can actually bring between $600 and $700, so keep an eye out for that one. The Alpine Train Station usually brings between $300 and $400, so that's always one to look out for. And there's actually some really cool pieces in this series. A couple of my favorites are the Holiday Smoker Booth, which is pretty cool. That usually goes to about $300 to $350, somewhere in that ballpark. And probably my favorite piece in this entire collection is the Alpine Beer Stein booth. It's shaped as a giant beer stein. This thing usually ranges between $250 and $300. So if you guys see the Alpine series out and about, look it up and pick it up. Number 9 on the list, it's A Wonderful Life. One of the oldest Christmas movies out there and one of the most famous, It's a Wonderful Life. And this set is actually brought to you by Inesco. Now, if you guys are out and about, A Wonderful Life can bring really good money. These pieces can average anywhere from about $150 to $300, somewhere in that ballpark. Now, a couple of the pieces you want to look out for and why these are actually really valuable. A lot of times when they do Christmas villages, they do retire the pieces over time. So to get those pieces, you have to either get them when they come out or you have to buy them on the secondary market, and that's when the prices go up. So one of the pieces you want to look out for is Sledding Hill. This piece usually averages between $350 to $500, somewhere in that ballpark. The Bedford Fall Garage can usually bring around $350. Mary Hatch's house, usually between around $350. So keep a lookout for these pieces. They can bring really good money. That brings us to number 8. And let me just say, this is a really weird one, all right? And don't try to get it on Sunday because it's gonna be closed. If you haven't figured it out yet, it's Chick-fil-A. That's right. Chick-fil-A has a Christmas Village and it's worth a ton of money. All right, so the Chick-fil-A pieces are actually done by Department 56. And the Chick-fil-A store, believe it or not, can actually sell for about $600+. It's insane, I know. Some other pieces are the Chick-fil-A billboard, which one of my favorite pieces in the entire collection, sells for roughly around $250. And even the cows, they have some individual cow pieces. They can go anywhere from $50 to $100 a pop. So I know it's an extremely weird one that you probably wouldn't think that was worth a ton of money, but it is. So if you do see the Chick-fil-A, pick them up. All right, that brings us to number 7. Now, if you don't know what number 7 is, you just may be...
I'm a cotton-headed ninny muggins.
That's right, it's Elf. Now, I know what you're thinking. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is to sing loud for everybody to hear. Now, I'm not gonna sing today, but I'm gonna tell you about Elf and how the Elf Christmas Villages can bring big money. The Elf series is actually brought to you by Department 56, and some of these pieces can go all the way up to $600 to $700 a piece. One of the pieces that you wanna look out for is probably where the main story takes place in the actual movie is Gimbel's Department Store. Now, if you guys haven't seen the movie, that is where Will Ferrell is playing Elf. He falls in love at the department store working for Santa's workshop. This piece can bring anywhere from $500 to $700, so keep an eye out for that piece. It's the hottest piece in the entire series. Another piece you want to look out for in this series is the world's best cup of coffee shop. This actually can bring, on average, around $300 to $350, so that's a great piece to pick up. Keep an eye out for that one. Even the little individual pieces that go along with the actual buildings can actually bring really good money in this series. One of my favorite pieces in this entire series is the Elf Snow Fight piece. This piece shows Will Ferrell throwing snowballs, and I've seen this sell all the way up to about $225 just for that piece by itself. Some of the other individual pieces can actually bring anywhere from about $125 to $150, so keep a lookout. One you want to pick up is Elf. Don't leave it behind. That brings us to number 6, Christmas in the City. This series is done by Department 56. What it does is it takes iconic buildings and puts them in the Christmas setting so that you can have an entire village set up as your favorite buildings. One of the most expensive ones in this entire set can go all the way up to about $600 to $700, which is the Empire State Building. They have tons of other ones too in this series, such as the Nutcracker Theater. That usually goes between $500 and $600. The Fox Theater goes for $500+. Midtown Pets, another one about $450 to $500. Another cool one in the series is Soho Shops. So if you guys are into iconic buildings, if you want more of a classier look, this is a more adult-oriented set. It's more of a classic look to it, so I would highly recommend picking them up. They range anywhere from like $250 to $500 on average, so it's a good set to pick up. So be on the lookout for those. All right, that brings us to the top 5. Now, if you thought that we're gonna do this entire video and not talk about Disney, you're wrong. So number 5 is Disney Christmas Village sets. Now, there's actually multiple Christmas Village sets out there produced for Disney, so we're gonna go over a couple of those here to be on the lookout for. Now, this one should be pretty obvious for you because Disney stuff can sell really well when it comes to actually statues and figurines. Now, Disney actually did self-produce their own Christmas Village, and these pieces can bring big bucks. We're talking anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a piece for these pieces. One of the main pieces you want to look out for is City Hall from the Disney Main Street series. This thing can sell for over $1,000. Yes, over $1,000. Some other ones in this one is the Disney Main Street Cinema, Casey's Corner. Those that can actually sell, those have actually sold for over $750 a piece. Another set you want to actually look out for is actually a box set. It was actually produced in 2006. It's the Disney Brass Key Porcelain Village set. It's actually a box set of 9. These actually can bring about $300 to $350 if you do find those, so keep an eye out for those. Also too, Disney had a series back in the early 90s from Hawthorne. It can bring a couple $100 as well. So keep an eye out for these different Disney products. If you find anything Disney Christmas statue or Christmas town, look them up or pick them up because they bring really good money. Now that brings us to number 4 on the list, and you better watch out for this one.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
That's right, Ralphie. Not only are you gonna shoot your eye out, but you're also gonna shoot out your wallet. That brings us to number 4, which is The Christmas Story. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. Nothing's more classic than Ralphie shooting his eye out with a BB gun for the entire movie. He keeps asking for a Red Ryder BB gun and finally gets one. And then, spoiler alert, he shoots out his freaking eye. These can bring really good money because a lot of these are retired. Which ones you want to look out for is the ones in the green box here. These ones, a lot of these ones are retired and they will bring good money. This one right here, the Chop Suey restaurant, this actually brings about $250 for this one. I have actually sold multiple Christmas Story ones and we've gotten really good money. Some of these, even the little figurine pieces can bring over $1,000. The famous one where Ralphie's dad does when he wins, the fragile leg.
Ah, fragile. It must be Italian.
Well, I think that says fragile, honey.
That's right, fragile. That one recently sold on eBay for over $1,000. One of my favorite pieces this entire set is the leg lamp factory. That can bring between $500 and $600 for that piece. These pieces are just insane. The Christmas Story house sells for about $500. Even the Chop Suey billboard, that's right, a Chop Suey billboard sells for $400+. Now this was not like a big money maker, but it is one of the coolest pieces in this entire set. And I triple dog dare you to look for it and pick it up.
This is nuts.
That's right, it's when they dare him to stick his tongue to the flagpole and he gets stuck to the flagpole. They have made that in an iconic Christmas Story village piece. It usually brings about $25 to $30, but I had to bring it up because it's just such a cool piece. And if you're getting the Christmas Story village, you need that piece for your collection. So pick it up. That brings us to number 3 on the list and one of my favorite TV shows of all time. That's The Simpsons. So in the early 2000s, Hawthorne came out with a Christmas village for The Simpsons, and it is so iconic. It has all the iconic places in there and the iconic pieces. You cannot miss a set, and it brings tremendously good money. These pieces average usually between $200 and $500 for the buildings. Some of the pieces can even go all the way up to $700 to $800. One of the top ones you want to look out for is Bart's Treehouse, which is a really cool piece because it actually has the alien ship stuck in the side of his treehouse. Now I know we already talked about It's a Wonderful Life. Well, welcome to The Simpsons, It's a Wonderful Knife. This piece actually brings about $400 to $500. So believe it or not, be on the lookout for that piece because it can bring really good money. The Simpsons Sleep Easy Motel and the Stonecutters building. If you guys aren't familiar with that episode, the Stonecutters were an underground society in The Simpsons, and they have Christmas buildings of both of those. They usually go for about $400 a piece. If you guys have ever seen The Simpsons before, in the opening credits, they actually show a burning pile of tires. They actually have that in the Christmas set here. It usually goes for about $350 to $400, some of that ballpark. This set has everything from all your favorite characters such as Bart, Krusty the Clown, Homer, Marge, to the iconic buildings such as Moe's Tavern, the Quickie Mart, Krusty's Burger. But probably one of the coolest pieces in this entire set is the nuclear power plant. Now I know that may sound boring, but when you plug it in, the power plant actually turns neon green, which looks like it's radioactive, and it's a really nice touch to the entire series. So if you guys aren't about, if you do see these Simpson pieces, even the individual character pieces can sell for about $20+ a piece. Pick them up. It's a great set to get and can bring really good money. That brings us to number 2 on the list. Now this is one of my favorite characters of all time. And that's the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can't believe the Scoundrel Rod Grimes, the bad guy here, wearing the Ric Flair shirt, likes the Grinch. He's one of the most iconic characters. I love it. It's a great story. The cartoon from back in the day, the Jim Carrey movie, great stuff. And so is the Christmas Village that they came out with. And it can bring really good money. This next series is actually from Department 56. It is The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, Whoville, Christmas Village. Some of these pieces can bring over $1,000. So one of the biggest ones in this, and actually one of the rarest ones, is actually the Whoville post office. The post office has sold on eBay multiple times for over $1,000. So be on the lookout for that one. Another good one to look out for is the Whoville Bakery. The bakery shop can usually sell anywhere from $600 to $800 on eBay. Brings really good money. One of my favorite pieces in this entire series is the Great Grinchery Trick. It shows the iconic Grinch standing there by himself in front of a mirror, putting on his Santa hat on. That piece alone can sell for $600 on eBay. They even have other members of Whoville walk around town with presents and Christmas trees. Those can sell for $300 to $400. And actually, one of my other favorite pieces in this entire series is the Grinch with his dog Max. That piece can sell between $350 to $400. So keep an eye out. If you do see the Grinch Department 56 Christmas Villages, pick them up. That finally brings us to the #1 Christmas Village. Do you guys know what it is?
And why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
I don't know, Margot.
Well, Todd, you may not know, but Picking and Punching does. And that's right, the #1 Christmas Village out there to look out for is my favorite movie of all time, Christmas Vacation. Around 2010 through 2020, these pieces came out. A lot of these pieces are retired, that's why they go for so much. Now don't be confused, Department 56 is actually selling the Christmas Story stuff right now on their website, but the pieces we're talking about are the ones that are currently retired. These pieces can bring great money, so be on the lookout. A couple of the ones you really want to look out for is Todd and Margot's house. Now this, if you guys aren't familiar with the movie, Todd and Margot are the neighbors of the Griswolds, and this is who Clark annoys the living hell out of. So great characters in the movie. I definitely highly recommend watch this movie if you have not seen it. One of the pieces you want to look out for is the Shirley house. That is actually Clark Griswold's boss's house. If you're not familiar with the movie, that's where his cousin Eddie goes to his house to actually capture his boss. All right, another piece you want to look out for is the little figures of Todd and Margot. They're actually running jumpsuits. This piece can sell between $500 and $700. Crazy to think about for that piece. So if you do find it, it's real small. It's about a couple inches big, and it can bring really good money. One of my favorite moments in this entire movie is when Clark and his cousin Eddie are drinking out of moose mugs. Now, this moose mug is not produced by Department 56. It has nothing to do with it, but it's so iconic, I had to show you guys. I bust this out every Christmas. Now, the reason why I was talking about that, one of the coolest pieces in this set is actually Clark and Eddie, cousin Eddie there, drinking out of their moose glasses for a little figurine. This thing can sell between $600 and $700. And don't worry, they do have the most iconic piece out there. Like I said earlier, this set is actually still available on Department 56 website. I highly recommend picking up, because if you see what the last pieces have gone for, these are probably only gonna go up in the future. And they do have the very iconic cousin Eddie standing in front of his RV yelling, "The crapper's full." So be on the lookout for those, pick them up. They're great pieces to add to your Christmas collection or something you want to save for an investment. Now, thank you guys for watching and coming along with us for this journey. If you guys like this type of content, please let me know down below what top 10 most valuable lists you guys want to see next, stuff to look out for when you guys are out and about. Until next time, thank you guys for watching.